On October 25th, 2023, Mike Johnson was elected as the second Speaker of the 118th House of Representatives. How he got there was unlike any other before him. The position of the Speaker of the House is an often overlooked and underrated aspect of government. In 2008, a reported 39% of the public could name Nancy Pelosi as Speaker, and that's up from 6% in 2000. So if the majority of Americans don't even know who fills the seat at any given time, why should they care? Because the Speaker may just be the second most powerful person in our government. The position of the Speaker is written into the U.S. Constitution. Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5 states, "The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers." That alone doesn't give us much information to go off of. So how have we gotten where we are today? Let's go back to the early stages of American government. Henry Clay was the first truly dynamic political figure to hold the speakership. His orchestration of the Missouri Compromise in 1820 showed that the Speaker could act as much more than just a moderator of debate. They could use their position of power to enact legislative change. Now, the Speaker has more weapons at their disposal than ever. Things like the ability to recognize members to speak, presenting the business of the House, appointing select committees, and referring measures to committee can all be manipulated for political gain. The founder's likely idea of the Speaker as a deliberator has passed, and the man or woman who holds the gavel can now dictate the legislative agenda of the House for years.
I felt optimistic about our ability to pass such a bill. I'm more optimistic now about being able to do so in a bipartisan way.
On Tuesday, January 3rd, at 12:35 p.m., the House began its process to elect a Speaker for the 118th Congress. And for the first time since 1923, his bid failed. Kevin McCarthy would eventually get his gavel. However, it took 15 ballots and crippling compromises.
That it has failed. So the question is, where do we go from here? Our Rachel Scott has been on the Hill all morning and afternoon for us. Rachel, there are so many twists and turns to what we've witnessed today. It's quite remarkable, historic on many counts. Just tell us where we go now.
Well, Kira, Kevin McCarthy at this moment is on the verge of losing the first ballot in his fight for Speaker for the first time in 100 years. I mean, this is a once-in-a-century fight. At this point, we have 6 Republicans.
Every Speaker hopeful has to manage the interests of their electorate. But the House Freedom Caucus, a band of far-right, safely seated members, proved to be much more of a roadblock than expected. The demands of McCarthy's detractors included having more members of the Freedom Caucus as chairs of key committees, to reassert, quote, open rules on amendments to make it easier to stall spending bills, and to lower the requirement to call a vote to vacate to just one member. These compromises forced McCarthy to fall in line with the interests of the far-right caucus, or to get ousted. And after just 8 months, Matt Gaetz accused the Speaker of making a secret spending deal with the Democrats and cashed in his vote to vacate. The anti-McCarthy movement succeeded, and once again, with a government shutdown looming this time, the 118th House was without a Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House.
The gentleman will state the form of his resolution.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
From October 3rd to the 25th, moderate Republicans fought with their far-right counterparts to try to reach a compromising appointment. The suggestion of electing Patrick McHenry as a so-called temporary Speaker came as the deadline of a shutdown rapidly approached. However, sufficient support could not be achieved. Then, unexpectedly, consensus amongst the majority was reached, and Mike Johnson was elected Speaker of the House on October 25th.
Harold Rogers of Kentucky to please administer the oath of office.
Mr. Speaker Designee, congratulations on your election.
Thank you, sir.
When our founding fathers...
Since then, more people have taken a special interest in the position after the drama of his election unfolded. Johnson was not especially known by the public before his appointment, but his extremely conservative stances on abortion, LGBTQ+ issues, and Ukraine has addressed him as a defender of American values for the right and an arbiter of fascism for the left. The future of the Speaker of the House is unknown. The 2024 election will determine who comes next. If the Democrats regain control, then Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries will likely take the position. If the Republicans maintain control, it is up in the air who will come out on top after the power struggle. If Trump wins office again, then the Republican Party may view Johnson as too moderate and replace him. Regardless of 2024, the public should pay close attention to whoever holds that all-important gavel, as their government, nation's values, and lives almost certainly depend on it.